Emiko,
I'm Shana.
and we are Accessorized with Toys. Like Dale said, we're out on the floor, but we got our beginnings with Maker Faire, the very first Maker Faire. There was a Swap-A-Rama, mostly clothing-based, and they wanted to have some jewelry designers doing workshops for kids. And so because I work a lot with recycled materials, I thought, oh, maybe I should grab some fun extra toy parts and things I can find at the thrift store and bring some tools in and teach some people how to make some pins. So it was a hit. You know, you put tools down, and kids really want to play with it, discover how to use it. Glue guns, you know, they go crazy. So we've been there for every single Maker Faire, and now we travel around to other things like Renegade and other institutions. And these are some of our projects that we've done. This is from the last year's Maker Faire, and we've got some fans over the years who come back year after year and spend the day with us. But we do scour a place called Scrap, which is a Bay Area institution that's been around since the 70s and carries a lot of recycled parts. They have also a booth out on the floor, as well as going to a lot of thrift stores and picking up games and whatnot. And so the point was to show people, hey, you know, you can make stuff too. You can make your own jewelry, your own accessories. You don't have to go buy everything new all the time. So the point was to really educate people about recycling was one of our goals, and also get people into making, getting their hands on things. Because, you know, a lot of times arts are being cut from schools. Kids don't even know how to use scissors, we often find. So, you know, we want to bring some basic motor skills into play. And what we love is seeing these families come together. It may be one of the only times that, you know, you get to sit down with your kids and actually do some teamwork, you know, like problem solve, think through how are we going to attach this to that, or how do you use this tool, and really just spend some quality time together instead of, you know, having the kids sit in front of the TV, right? So we were just overjoyed to see how many families were really getting a kick out of doing this with us.
So we have a list here of the places that we've been doing the workshop all over the Bay Area, in addition to other private schools and private parties and things like that. And it's been really great to see people coming together to make something out of what they would otherwise consider to be trash, and come along and have no idea what they're going to make, and then all of a sudden get inspired out of just any old one piece. And also to have them thinking about how they can reuse and recycle the items that they have at home. So we get lots of donations from people coming to workshops like this, and then we also hand out information with our flyer of what to do with your old toys, where to donate them, how to properly recycle them.
Yeah, so if you have any toy parts you want to get rid of, you know, of course, use them at home, but we can always accept your donations as well.
And then this is Scrap, which, again, we get a lot of materials from them, but we've also been teaching workshops with them, which is really great to show people how to use their materials. And we actually have a workshop coming up in February, and it's our Project Accessorize. So it gets a little bit deeper into actually making a finished, more refined jewelry piece, and getting into using jewelry techniques and skills to make these pieces and do a finished piece like we've done before with this workshop.
Right, because you know, some people think, oh, using recycled materials or using discards or trash, it ends up being kind of trashy looking. You know, you see some of that out there. And what we really want to do is let people know you can make something artistic and beautiful and really transform what's normally a mundane material or a discard into something quite lovely. And so like with Scrap, we're spending the whole day going through a design process as if it is an actual course where you make something that's not going to just get thrown away again, because the whole point is to make it better than it was before. Yeah. And
oh, so these are some organizations that we're involved in. The Metal Arts Guild, which is a Bay Area organization, just celebrating their 60th anniversary with strong roots in studio jewelry, but also other metal arts. We've both been involved in for many years, and Emiko actually is the president at the moment. And then we also have a critique group of 7 to 8 members, actually 7 members, a metal arts critique group where we get together monthly and critique each other's work, and we're going on 13, 14 years together. Yeah. And we've done some great things with that as far as exhibiting. Many of us are educators, and also teaming up with other like-minded artists. We did an exchange with a group in London last year. And so that's been really great to come together with our group of artists to make other things happen and to support each other. And then SNAG, which is a nationwide organization that we're both involved with also.
Right. So we're both very involved in the metals community, but being individual artists, because we're both professional jewelry artists, it's very easy to get kind of clustered in your own space and hold away and making things that you forget to reach out and leave the house and go out into the world and maybe help inform the rest of the community about art. And so this is why we've been doing the Accessorize with Toys and bringing it to different fairs and organizations, because we want to share the joy with you guys and help you realize, you too can do it. You can learn how to use a pair of pliers. You can, take that Scrabble toy that's been kicking around in the junk drawer and actually do something very interesting with it. So now we're going to talk about each of our own work.
So this is my jewelry business, jewelry designed objects. I primarily make jewelry, but I do a lot of custom jobs. I recently did candle holders for a restaurant using a can that they already had at the restaurant. But with my jewelry, I'm just showing some examples here today of toys that I've incorporated. So this is a sample of the charm bracelet, which I'm actually wearing today with all Barbie shoes, specifically pinks. And just the idea of, getting involved in collecting one thing and just kind of keeping with that. So Barbie shoes. And then this is also made out of all, let's see, it's about 95% recycled materials and actually mainly from scrap. And the green parts are from a local toy manufacturer that were somehow ended up at scrap. And this piece is quite large. It would cover a large part of my body. And it's sort of my commentary on greenwashing. It's like the anti-fine jewelry piece. And then this is sort of a companion piece with that. Again, plastics, some fake gems, more sort of refined looking, but it's all toy parts. And then this is my studio workshop here in San Francisco. And while I do some of those pieces with the toy parts, I actually work more with just mixed materials, some fibers, some plastics, and incorporating my more refined jewelry skills with the mixed materials. And then that's just more of an example of the different types of work that I do. And then Emiko.
Alrighty. All right, so I use Lego primarily as my building block per se for jewelry. I've done a lot with recycled materials and plastics, but I really fell in love with using Lego around 2006 and started building my business on that. So these are my ready-to-wear collection, the Emiko Oye Rewear. I've been named now the Lego Lady, those in the art craft jewelry world. And so people always ask me, oh, you must have always played with Lego as a child. And my answer is that is the only documented photo of me playing with Lego as a child when I was 2. My uncle got me my first Lego set, the basic house, which I had forever until I rediscovered it again as an adult in 2006. And so there's a bottom laser pointer. Bottom down here, that was my last studio that I had. It's just in my kitchen. Ends up always being in my kitchen. My kitchen is a fairly large space. Now it's in my dining room, but I don't need much space, really. And my favorite tool is my flex shaft Fordham. We had some it's a motor that has a flexible shaft, and then, like you see at the dentist, they use that on your teeth, that kind of thing. So that's my favorite tool, because you can get in there. I do lots of drilling, small pieces. And this was an article in Ready Made magazine. Oops, wrong button. So, I try to use a lot of different of the Lego parts, like the airplane windows up here, for those who really know their Lego parts. I use a lot of the brick, and now I'm using a lot of the slope as some of these new, I call it my Stilego pinwheel series. I've got a hoop on today and a necklace. And of course, the Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars, right? So I've done some big trunk shows like the ACC, American Craft Council show here in San Francisco, and I'm from Cleveland, so it was quite a joy to be featured in the Plain Dealer actually a few weeks ago for my work. But what really brought me to really enjoying Lego is doing exhibition pieces. So I balance my work between doing everyday, wear to the grocery store kind of jewelry for everybody to exhibition pieces that are shown in museums and galleries across the country. And the first piece I did was called the Queen Margarita. And so it was based on an actual, you'll see that over here. Oh, sorry, the other side. Oh, I just turned something off. Okay. Oh, no. Sorry. Too many buttons. Oh, dear. Okay. So what I do is I reinterpret historic jewelry into a modern context using the Lego. So I find a documentation of a piece owned by royalty or whoever, and then reinterpret it using the Lego. And this particular piece actually breaks down, as would royal jewelry, into like a brooch or a cuff. So in this show, the people were actually allowed to try on the pieces. So imagine going into a museum and being allowed and encouraged to touch things and put them on. And it was very exciting because the public could try everything on and then take a picture of themselves, like you see up there in the corner, of them wearing it. And so then a couple of years later, I was invited by the Museum of Art and Design here in Craft and Design, sorry, here in San Francisco to create a whole collection with the same idea of letting the public come in and touch and experience it. And so this is a little bit of my process where I start with a toy. So, there's the aqua shark up here. It's the original thing that inspired me, that people will sometimes donate sets and I'll get inspired by the pieces. And then it goes through a process where I do a sketch and then I start playing with the pieces until it ends up to the final piece. And so down here, and see it's based on the drawing. This is a Boucheron piece. This is now in a private collection. So, down here was a picture of a participant from the show. You got some crazy shots of people. Some guy took off his shirt, and I was like, oh no, I got to wash that piece now. But so I did a whole series of these, and I'm still working on them. But what was great and what I realized is that people really responded to the work because of the material, because it was Lego. And everyone's got a story with Lego. I mean, I've got some guy from Serbia that came over saying his experience with Lego was that when everything was going down and there was all these bombings happening in Serbia, people were pilfering. He stole a Lego set. That was the thing he stole. And he said he felt so guilty about it, but that was the one thing he really wanted was this Lego set. And so, the other jewelry I was making from other recycled materials, it wasn't connecting with people in the same way. But this, to me, has been great because everyone feels now they've got their own story connected to it. And then I can really reach out to the public through the media. So the new series I'm working on is called the Muse Series, based on paintings, sculptures of masters from the museums here in the Bay Area. So this is from the Palace Legion of Honor. So the Russian Bride's attire, which is a very famous painting. It's very large, as big as the screen, actually. And so I was doing this brush. These are recycled brushes and Lego. And then the Louise Nevelson show that was at the DeYoung a few years ago inspired these couple of pieces here. So that's us.